Oh, chapter 7, the muscular system. So it's a short one. Let's begin with the first word. Uh, Leo, my, o, ma. Leo means smooth, myo means muscle, my means muscle, oma means tumor. So smooth muscle tumor. And yes. So what's most happening here? Smooth muscle. Let me see. In our body, we have three type of muscles. Skeletal muscle. That's the muscle we can control, attached to the bones, and that's the only muscle we can control voluntarily. And then cardiac, cardiac muscle. That's the muscle of the heart muscle. And then smooth muscle. Smooth muscle normally are you can find them in the wall of the organs, like the stomach, the thick layer of smooth muscle, and the intestine has thick layer of smooth muscle. Gallbladder, not gallbladder, urinary bladder is a smooth muscle, and smooth muscle tumor means the tumor grows inside smooth muscle. Where is the most common place you can find smooth muscle tumor? Uterus. Uterus also contains a layer of the smooth muscle. In most cases, the leiomyoma refers to the tumor growth in the smooth muscle layer of the uterus. It has what we call uterine fibroids. Fibroids. And leiomyocytes, smooth muscle inflammation. Smooth muscle inflammation, which is most happen inside the intestine due to autoimmune attack of the intestine smooth muscle. I'm not sure how common is it. It's rather rare, including the next one we talked about. It's not a very optimal myosarcoma. Sarcoma, in many cases, it means, say, a cancer or malignant tumor. Cancer, basically a malignant tumor, means a tumor can migrate from one place to another places. So sarcoma means a broad term to say any of those cancer from connective tissues and rhabdomyosarcoma. This thing is very rare. To be honest, I spend a lot of time on this cancer trying to find the origin or the function of these cells. When we talk about cancer, cancer is basically a disease that some type of cells grow out of control or proliferate out of control. So when we talk about cancer or tumor, there's also cell origin. And the origin of this rhabdomyosarcoma coming from this cell called rhabdomyoblast. I spent a lot of time, honestly, to find out the function of this rhabdomyoblast. They can develop into muscle cells. However, they are not a major source of the development of muscle cells. Muscle cells develop from the myoblast. So I don't really know what's the function of these cells, except for when we look for these cells, they're mostly direct to this cancer, rhabdomyosarcoma, and even those cancers is rare. So anyway, you don't have to spend much time on this. Next, myosclerosis. Myo muscle, heart and muscle, and it's a genetic disorder. It's called sclerosis seems like hardened muscle, but actually it's mostly not caused by muscle issues, but caused by shortened joints, not really the muscle. So, but anyway, this, oh yeah, sometimes it's also muscle. The shortened joints and the shortened muscle, not only the muscle, both. Shortened joints and shortened muscle, both contribute to the mild sclerosis. Not really something become, so sclerosis means limitation of the mobility. Not really means something really becoming hard. Okay. Next one. Myonecrosis, muscle death. In general, any of those conditions causing muscle death, of the muscle cell death, they call it myonecrosis. And in more often, more common, so it refers to a special type of muscle death called clostridial myonecrosis. And this is Clostridial means a special type of bacteria, and has a name, especially called Clostridium difficile. What do you mean difficile? Difficult. It's very difficult to kill. And this kind of a bacteria is very difficult to kill. And it's not that common, but is it common? Not really common, but not that rare either. So it may infected by many sources, mostly through oral. And when people get infected by this type of cells, they are causing muscle death of the whole GI tract, gastrointestinal tract, and basically it's watery stool you can find. And how people get infected by this one? Fecal oral route. That's a major form of this. The major cause of this infection of this bacteria. And how people can fecal oral. I mean, the fecal oral. It means the stool, the feces, or something that people eat that contaminated by the feces. How is it possible? I mean, actually, it's happened a lot. In some cases, because the connection between the feces and the food sources, the food itself is contaminated by the feces. And in many cases, because people who prepare the food are infected, not really infected. There's a very famous story. Mary? I forgot her name. There's in early 1900s. There's a cook called Mary what? I forgot. She is very good at making ice cream, and her herself carried salmon something bacteria, and she did not wash her hands. So whenever she went, she transferred the bacteria to her employer. And many people, how many people? Nearly 100 people got infected by her. And then also she has nothing. But there's many people die from it. There's a very famous story. You can search for her. Call it the Mary what? Yeah. And anyway, so the major reason the major source of the fecal oral route of the infection is because people who prepare food does not wash off his hands. Okay, next one. asthenia grievous means serious, severe. Myarrhythmia, muscle athenia cannot move. So move or weakness, athenia weakness or not moving. Anyway, serious muscle weakness, severe muscle weakness. It's autoimmune disease, and this is let's say a muscle, and how you can how to say activate a muscle, a nerve coming to activate a muscle, and in between the muscle and nerve, this is a special synapse between the muscle and the nerve. So in the muscle site, there are receptors to and sense this neurotransmitter, and this neurotransmitter called it acetylcholine or ACH, and this and receptor called it ACH receptor ACHR, and then in the people with myasthenia gravis, there's antibodies coming. The antibodies coming to block or even kill the ACHR. So if the ACHR is blocked and the muscle cannot be activated, and since the muscle cannot be activated, the muscle will feel like muscle weakness. You cannot really control the muscle. Why not? This is an autoimmune disease. We talk a lot about autoimmune disease. In our body, the immune system is critical for us to defend us from the infection, but also the immune system itself also causes a lot of issues. So this one, the antibody block the ACHR, then the muscle cannot be activated. So myasthenia gravis. And tendon. What is tendon? Say, this is a muscle. And muscle, in most cases, not in most, in almost all cases, muscle with the joints and muscle connected to bones, and muscle contract it put the two bones together. And then how does the muscle connect it to a bone? Tendons is where the muscle connects. It's a tissue. It's the connective tissue that connects the muscle to a bone. That's called tendons. And then tendonitis, that is the tendon inflammation. And tendon inflammation, in many cases, is not caused by inflammation, but by infection. Overuse. When you overuse, some of those tendon cells die. When they die, in the tendon, you also have blood vessels. Not much, but a little bit. And when you have blood vessels, the potential to have inflammation. And when muscle cells died, you need immune cells coming to clear up the not muscle cell, tendon sites, tendon sites. There are cells in the tendon. When these cells die, the blood vessels need to the immune cells come to take care of the dead tendon cells, and this is causing the tendonitis and algae, tendon pain, and fibromyalgia, muscle pain. I guess even the academia papers use muscle pain a lot, kind of whatever. And last two things, hyperkinesia or dyskinesia. They are actually largely the same. Hyperkinesia and dyskinesia is uncontrolled, excessive motion. And for example, there's a disease called Huntington-Down syndrome. Those people like they cannot control the scale of their movement. Normally result in too much motion. And but there's a tiny difference between the hyperkinesia. Hyperkinesia means the motion is too exaggerated. And dyskinesia always means the repeated motion, but largely they can exchange. They can use inter-exchangeable. It means abnormal muscle movement. I think that's it. That's all. Okay. See you next time.